If you've ever tried to build a capsule wardrobe or buy clothes for the new season and then felt completely overwhelmed, this is for you. I'm going to share with you the 3 foundational points that I always come back to before I buy any outfit. Now, if you've been copying the style advice from personal stylists online and thought, I did exactly what they said, but nothing seems to look right, then these foundational points are definitely going to help you. So let's get straight into it with foundation number 1, which is color palette clarity. I am a big believer in knowing what your personal color palette is, and I like to work within the seasonal color palettes. Now, I first discovered seasonal color palettes when I got hold of this book in the early 2000s by Wright. This is a great book. She really goes into detail about seasonal color palettes. There's a bunch of info on Pinterest now, so it can really help you understand what your seasonal color palette is, or you could work with a seasonal color palette consultant who will tell you what your colors are. They have those swanky little scarves that they hold up to your face so that you can really see what works and what doesn't. But the reason why this is so important to have a personal color palette and one that works within your tone of skin and hair and eye color and personality is that it makes building a wardrobe so much easier, because everything just harmonizes together when you're sticking within the rules of a color palette. Now, my favorite book is this one, Color Psychology, or Beginner's Guide to Color Psychology, by Wright. Now, I did pick this book up in the early 2000s, so it is showing its age a little bit with some of the pictures, but it gives you a good basis for the seasonal color palette. But if you want something a little bit more modern, then I have this Karen Heller book, The Little Book of Color, and this is another great book with lots of examples in here, questionnaires and things that are going to help you figure out your own color palette. So I highly recommend these. Now, as I said, the reason why this is so important is you know that when you stand in front of your wardrobe, your tops, your bottoms, your jackets, your dresses, they're all going to work together because there's a harmony. There's that red thread, as they say, that links everything together, and it just takes some of the stress out of getting dressed, because whatever you put on, it looks great. You stand in front of the mirror and there's something that happens with the colors going into your eyes and into your brain, and your brain just goes, there's harmony here. Foundation 2 is body shape awareness. Now, I don't mean we're going to stand in front of a mirror and fixate on our flaws. I don't want you to hone in on the parts of the body that you dislike personally and then just try and think, how am I going to hide these? Because that's when you fall into the trap of just buying clothes that completely hide you. So many women in their 40s will say things like, oh, I just buy boring black because it blends in. Do you really want to blend in, or do you want to say, I am here and I am ready to take on the world, especially if you're coming out of the other side of motherhood and you're trying to get back into the career world? For me, I feel like that's the last thing that you want to do, become forgettable and bland and blending in, and you want to stand out a little bit, just a little bit. And by introducing colour and by wearing clothes that really tell the world that I'm confident and I'm here and I deserve this job, that is what's going to help. Now, the key to this is having a little bit of an artist's eye when you are stood in front of the mirror looking at your body. An artist thinks in terms of shapes and the sizes of those shapes and the ratios and the compositions. They're not honing in on things that they dislike. They're trying to think, how does this shape fit with all of the others? Have I got the size right? And once you know what your body shape is, beyond just hourglass or apple or pear-shaped or rectangular shaped, once you actually look at the ratios between your shoulders and your hips, or where your natural waistline is, and the ratio between your underbust to your natural waistline versus the natural waistline to your hips, Is that longer or is it shorter than the underbust to the waist? Once you start thinking in terms of that, then you're going to be able to think about how the clothes that you buy are going to enhance or balance out aspects of your body. Do you have longer legs and a shorter torso? Again, that's going to affect the types of tops you wear versus the trousers that you go for or the skirts that you go for. So this body shape awareness, it really is about understanding the shapes that form your body, having an awareness around that and looking with that artist's eye to think, how am I going to balance out everything and create just a really beautiful structured silhouette. Once you understand that, then when you're in the shops, and maybe this is where my art school training, my designer's eye comes into it, I'm looking at those clothes that are on the hangers that look very sort of two-dimensional, and I'm thinking in terms of 3 dimensions. How is this going to drape on my body? Is this going to hit me in the wrong places if I'm looking at the waist of a dress? Is the cut of a top, is that the right cut for my shoulders? Again, this isn't me trying to hide parts of my body. This is me really thinking in terms of shapes, proportions, and balancing things out. And then this leads into why you might copy the exact spring capsule wardrobe formula that you've seen online from your favorite online stylist. You've recreated that for yourself, but you're stood in front of the mirror thinking, it just doesn't look as good on me as it did on her. And that's usually because she's worked based on her proportions, she's worked based on her personal colour palette, and everything just harmonizes. And you need to take elements of what she's done and transfer it to your body shape, your colour palette. And finally, foundation 3 is outfit compatibility. And I cannot stress how important this is. Whenever I'm in a shop and I'm looking for a new item to buy, or maybe I just want something new to add to my wardrobe, just to elevate it, just to give me some new energy and a little bit of new inspiration, I am always thinking, how is this one piece that I'm about to buy going to fit within my existing wardrobe? Can I make at least 3 different outfit combinations with this one piece with what I already own? Now, if you've got deep pockets and you're about to buy something and you realize, oh, I don't have any shoes that are going to work with this trousers, let me go buy a new pair of shoes as well, then cool. But for the rest of us who actually need to be very savvy about our spending habits, I'm always going to be thinking, how can I build other outfits with this item, but combining it with things I already own? And this is where understanding your personal colour palette really is going to help make this easy for you, as well as understanding the shapes that work best on your body, because you'll easily be able to eliminate something if it doesn't fit within those first 2 foundations. When you know your palette, your proportions, and how to combine pieces, getting dressed becomes so much easier. You're more confident because things just work. You haven't bought that item that you absolutely loved on the hanger, but now you've brought it home, it doesn't work with anything else, and you've just got wardrobe clutter that stresses you out in the morning because you don't know how to make it work. When you're thinking in those 3 foundations that we've just gone through, it just makes life so much easier and it makes style so much simpler. If you're a woman in your 40s and you're ready to reconnect with your sense of style, build a capsule wardrobe that you absolutely love and show the world that you are ready to take it on, then I will leave a link in the description of how you can work with me personally.